Hi friends, welcome to this video on inflation. How to beat inflation? This is the common question which arises in everybody's mind. But before finding a way to beat inflation, let us understand what inflation is all about. Inflation is the rate at which the price of goods and services increasing, which will subsequently leads to fall in purchasing power. Inflation is caused by two factors, that is high level of demand and low level of supply. The real lifetime example for high level of demand is during festivals, the demand for golds and ornament increases, which in turn will put pressure on the price of the gold to go higher and higher. Similarly, for low supply of resources, the real lifetime example would be scarcity of water. Due to bad monsoon, when there is a scarcity of water, the price of packaged water will go high and higher. So this definition proves that whenever the price increases, the purchasing power of an individual comes down. Let us do a simple calculation to justify this definition. Assume, suppose you are allocating rupees 100 out of your household expense to buy a milk. In case the price per liter for milk is rupees 40, then you would be able to buy at least 2.5 liters of milk with 100 rupees. Assume you are allocating same 100 rupees a year later, but the price never remains same. Due to inflation, the price increases by 25% and it shoots up to rupees 50. In this case, you will be able to buy only 2 liters where you have bought 2.5 liters a year later. So this is what the inflation effect, which reduces significantly the purchasing power of an individual. Now let us move to the case study to understand the inflation concept in a detailed manner. By understanding the concept of inflation, you are planning to invest your idle money for 1 year, which can help you to beat the current inflation rate. Suppose you are approaching an investment advisor for same, where he is giving you 3 choices of investment, assuming the current inflation rate at 6.5% and the risk level for all these 3 investments are assumed to be equal. Identify which investment can beat the inflation for you. So there are 3 asset class has been recommended by your investment advisor. The returns of these 3 asset classes are different from one another. Assuming the risk level for all these 3 investments are to be same, though in a practical sense it doesn't hold true. For the simple calculation, let us assume the risk level of all these 3 investments to be equal, so that we can able to interpret which asset class can really beat the inflation rate in an efficient manner. Suppose putting your money in gold can give you a return of 6.5% in a year time. Investing your money in bonds can give you only 4.5% of return. Allocating your money in capital market can give you 9% of return. So before taking a biased decision based on the stated return which is given in the case study, let us do a simple calculation. There are 2 methods to identify the inflation effect. The first method, we split the calculation into 2 parts. One is the inflation effect, other one is the investment effect. Suppose assume the base price for milk is to be 100. Since it is an expense, we are mentioning prefix to rupees 100. The inflation rate is found to be 6.5% for 1 year time frame. The price of the milk can go up to 106 rupees 50 paise. Assume you are allocating the 100 rupees in gold, where the expected return given in the example is 6.5% for a period of 1 year. The investment maturity value would be 106 rupees 50 paise. So in this case, we need to compare the future price of the milk and the maturity value of the investment of gold. Both the value holds equal, hence it doesn't beat the inflation, it is at par to the inflation rate. does it beat the inflation? No. Similarly, we have to do the calculation for bonds and equity, where the expected rate of return are different. For bonds, it is 4.5 percentage. Assuming same 100 rupees is invested for 4.5 percentage of return in 1 year time frame, the maturity value of this investment would be 104 rupees 50 paise. Now if you compare this maturity value with the price of the milk, does it beat inflation? No, because the maturity value of the investment is less than the future price of the milk. Hence this investment may not be able to beat the inflation rate. At last, we are doing the similar calculation for equity 2, where the expected return is 9% for 1 year time frame. The maturity value is expected to be 109 rupees. Now if you compare the maturity value of equity with the future value of price of milk, the maturity value of equity is higher than the price of milk. Hence this investment really does beat the inflation. There is another method how you can able to find out how this asset class are efficiently beating the inflation rate or not, which is called inflation adjusted rate. This is the formula which is given for inflation adjusted rate. It is 1 plus R divided by 1 plus I minus 1, where R is the rate of return, I is the inflation rate. Now let us do this calculation for all these three asset classes applying the formula which we have seen here. The expected return for gold is found to be 6.5%. For bonds it is 4.5%, and for equity it is 9%. The inflation rate holds equal for all these three calculation. The time frame also symmetrical, which is 1 year. Now you need to compute the inflation adjustment rate by inputting this formula over here. Just type equals open bracket 1 plus R. R is nothing but the expected return, which is 6.5 close bracket divided, and I am adjusting it with the inflation rate. Inflation rate is 6.5% minus 1. Hence the expected return and the inflation rate are equal. The inflation adjusted rate is 0%. Similarly, if you do the same calculation for the other two asset class, you can come out with a very surprising value. The inflation adjusted rate for bond investment is minus 1.878 because it doesn't beat the inflation rate, whereas in this case it is at par to the inflation rate. Hence it is neutral. Since this is the expected return is less than the inflation rate, it is a negative return. Let us see what equity gives the inflation adjusted rate. 1 plus 9% divided by 1 plus 6.5% minus 1, which is 2.347%. So even in this method you can see the positive yield given by equity, which does beat the inflation. So both the methods proves that equity is the only asset class which predominantly beats the inflation in a significant manner. Hope this video will help you to understand the inflation concept in a very efficient manner. To learn more, just log on to www.finschool.in. Thank you.